Hey guys, my name is RGB and I know that at some point in your life you've heard of Strawberry Shortcake. When I was younger, I remember watching Strawberry Shortcake's 2003 show, which brings me a lot of memories with my grandma. And recently, when I asked what franchises you would like to see me redesigning, this comment popped up suggesting that I tackle Strawberry Shortcake design. Nostalgia rushed through my veins as I went out of my way to find out the episodes I watched as a child and feel that childhood sparkle again. So it's no surprise that today I'm here and we will be redesigning and very slightly rewriting Strawberry Shortcake, Orange Blossom, and Ginger Snap based off the 2003 version, which is my favorite. It's a little, what if I decided to make a 2025 reboot of the show? I know you guys are waiting for the Yum Sim Saga continuation, but those take a long time to write in. I'm crafting it as best as I can, so I don't want to deliver anything rushed. This video is for lighthearted fun while I work on the big boys. I hope you will watch it either way because they're still pretty good. So first off, I decided to get to work on Orange Blossom. I know you're waiting for Strawberry, but I'm no silly and she will be the last one in the video. So stick around and I promise you won't regret. Orange Blossom is Strawberry Shortcake's best friend and one of the coolest designs in my opinion. I love her original aesthetic of the fruit mixed with flowers. I know it's supposed to be a dessert, but I never knew it was a dessert. And her color palette of orange, yellow, white, and green, paired with her brown hair and dark skin. She got butchered in the 2009 reboot, but they kind of fixed her in the recent versions, I guess. But at the same time, it seemed like the public didn't really like the reboots very much, which is no big surprise at this point. In the version we're using as a base, she runs Orange Blossom Acres, where she collects oranges from her trees to make orange juice, which is her top-selling product. This reiteration of the show takes away her artistic aspect, which is one of the biggest appeals to me personally. I decided to keep her artistic persona, giving her an internal dilemma. She needs to take care of the acres as they're inherited from her parents, but her heart is really into painting and making art, so she often procrastinates her job to make drawings instead. Strawberry Shortcake will help her find a healthy balance between work and fun until she can turn her hobby into something she can do always. Strawberry Shortcake meets her as she's picking oranges from the trees at her acres. They quickly become friends after a very cute and silly musical act, and Orange accompanies Strawberry as she is preparing Apple Dumpling's birthday party and is in need of juice. You notice that most of the designs here are fairly impractical for handiwork, but I really wanted to keep their aesthetically pleasing and beautiful looks, even if they're often shown doing manual labor. I think they should be allowed to do things in style. So Orange Blossom's feet has some little cowboy aesthetics, as I took some inspiration from Applejack when designing her. Because of, trees and acres and all, it really reminded me of her. But her outfit is still a lot more fashionable rather than practical for taking care of the acres. The original 2003 is very tomboy-ish. I mean, many of the designs there are. And I like it. I find no issue with. But the next character will take the tomboy trophy for us. So I decided to keep Orange Blossom delicate looking. I hope you guys found her as endearing as I did. I tried portraying their personalities through their fonts, so tell me if you think they're fitting in the comments. Next up is Ginger Snap. You may not know of her since she's only featured in the 2003 version, but Ginger Snap is a very interesting character which I really wanted to shine some light onto. Hasbro created this fruit-forward policy because they didn't want to promote unhealthy snacks to kids, so Ginger Snap was blown to oblivion and forgotten in newer versions of the show. She's the smart inventor of the group who makes many machines for different purposes and she does it anywhere. And the most notable one is her amazing cookie maker machine, which produces delicious cookies she sells at her bakery. She's very cute and she's a yapper who's hyperactive and energetic. She's very kind as you would expect from a main character in a kids show. I mean, all of the characters are kind, but she doesn't have a lot of patience, which is still a lot of patience since Strawberry's dog Pupcake makes a mess of her bakery in the first episode and she's like pretty chill about it. She's the first person Strawberry Shortcake's visit after going into an adventure to collect all of the items from her checklist to be able to put together Apple Dumpling's birthday party. Ginger Snap is kind enough to give her a full bottle of cookies, as well as an extra batch for good luck. I love Ginger Snap. In fact, I love her character trope smart girl who talks a lot and makes inventions. It kinda reminds me of Entrapta, who I really also like a lot. Her design though is really lacking. I find that most of the 2003 designs are very simple and lack a lot of personality, which can be fixed with very little alterations and additions of simple accessories. I decided to give her goggles because which accessory screams inventor more than them, right? And to complete the combo, I had to dress her in a big coat in order to resemble scientists' lab coats. It's got bitten cookie buttons, as well as chocolate chip decorations. I kept her dress shirt, but I buttoned it up. And lastly, her pants are now bell pants, which I personally find a lot more appealing. I put her normal shoes on her because whatever. The biggest change you might notice is that I gave her a long braid. If you've been watching my videos, you probably noticed that I really like braids. Simply because I found out that in her wiki, she is said to be very good at braiding, so why wouldn't she have her own braid, right? And that's it for Ginger Snap. Did you know she's a Strawberry Shortcake character, or have you never heard of her? Leave your thought down in the comments. So lastly, but definitely not least, we're going over Strawberry Shortcake, Apple Dumpling, and the pets, Puppy Cake and Custard. As much as I love her tomboyish looks in the 2003 version, I felt the biggest need to give her a cottagecore aesthetic mixed with farm girl. Her living alone in a simple and little strawberry house really screamed cottagecore to me, and the fact that she also harvests all of these big strawberries and owns a wheelbarrow made me want to put little sprinkles of farm girl into her redesign mix. You quickly notice that I also drew Cupcake, Custard, and Apple Dumpling in her illustration because they're together most of the time, so it felt like an integral part of her character. For all of the redesigns, I tried to achieve a more illustration look, if you get what I mean. I find that most of my redesigns so far are really bland in the aspect of backgrounds and standalone drawings, so I wanted to try spicing it up by adding props and little decorations to fill in the blank spaces. Although the series shows Strawberry and her friends as kids, I always got the feeling that they're much older, at least 18 to 19, because she does take care of her little sister and walks around many different places by herself. I decided that she will be a young adult in my version, just like all of the other characters. One thing I really like about the 2003 version is that the world is very magical and reminds me of Candyland, which is pretty darn cool. If I remember correctly, the newer versions just put her in a more normal setting for each reboot, so I definitely keep that fantastical aspect for her setting. I loosely thought up of a little story plot, so it kind of goes like this. Strawberry Shortcake lives in Strawberry Land, together with her family and the Berrykins, which she was tasked to take care of by the Berry Princess, or we could call her the Berry Fairy in our version. Strawberry very rarely leaves her land, which makes her become very lonely with only her sister and pets. The Berrykins are kind and keep her company, but she's eager for more than that. She's already almost an adult, and she wants to see the outside world. All of the supplies she has at home that are not from Strawberry Land are ordered by mail and delivered accordingly. I find the peculiar purple pie man and sour grapes really funny antagonists, so I'd like to keep them as the dummy villains until something more threatening eventually shows up. Both of them sabotage the mail central, and Strawberry Shortcake is faced with the issue of having to leave her land and the Berrykins in order to be able to put together Apple Dumpling's birthday party. She eventually decides to bring the Berrykins with her, so they won't be alone and she won't disappoint the Berry Fairy. Through her journey, she'll meet and make new friends, as the antagonist duo will try to do anything in their power to separate the Berrykins from Strawberry Shortcake, because the Berrykins have something that can be used for evil. I'd really like to see a reboot where the world is magical and somewhat similar to My Little Pony, because it will be a lot of fun. Magic is fun, friendship is magic. And Strawberry Shortcake's fruit/dessert aesthetic is so cute. I feel like the brand could become something a lot more interesting if they try to do something more magical. I also thought of something like Shira, I don't know how to say it, and the princesses of power when it comes to like the kingdom's relationships in comparison to the many different lands her friends live in, because you know, they're different places which Strawberry never visited, so they could have like, oh, this place doesn't like this place because of something that happened, so Strawberry Shortcake will eventually come here and say, hey, let's everyone be friends, I can help you become friends, and then everyone becomes friends, you know, something like that. Very silly. I mean, it's a kid's show. I'm open to you guys' suggestions in the comments. I feel like we could make a cool world building out of this, but I've already got a lot on my plate right now. If this video goes well and you guys enjoy it, I can definitely dive deeper into the lore in the next videos. I wanted to keep this really short because I really don't know how well it'll do in views, so let's see. And that's it for today. I saved up a lot of comments about my design choices because, again, I didn't want to drag out this video for too long because I never saw Strawberry Shortcake redesign, so I don't know how good this is for redesign videos. I don't know how this is gonna perform. Thank you so much if you watched to this point. If you want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe, please subscribe, and leave a like. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!